It took a little rebuilding, but the Cleveland Cavaliers are finally back to playing amazing basketball. Let me refresh your memory. The year is 2018 and the Cleveland Cavaliers were just swept in the NBA Finals. There's a lot of speculation surrounding LeBron James' name. What was his next move going to be? Was he going to re-sign in Cleveland, or was he going to bolt to another city? A lot of early signs pointed to the latter happening, and the Cleveland Cavaliers knew this. They were hesitant to make any real moves involving picks in that 2018 season. Having that Brooklyn pick gave them insurance, and it gave them a chance to go into a rebuild had LeBron James left. And that's exactly what he did. Later that summer, it would be announced that LeBron James would be going to the Los Angeles Lakers on a 4-year deal, and thus the rebuild commenced. Or you can call it a retool at the time. See, once LeBron James left, the Cleveland Cavaliers still thought they could be a playoff team. Rather than gut the roster, they decided to retool with many moves here and there. Kevin Love, George Hill, J.R. Smith, guys who were still intact from that 2018 finals run were still on the team in hopes of making another playoff push. But they would learn early on that the season just wouldn't go their way. The Cavs started off really sloppy, Kevin Love got hurt, and at that point, Kobe Allman decided to pull the plug. Now, a lot of people on the team did not want that. They wanted to make a playoff push, but Kobe Allman saw the vision. It just wasn't going to happen. Tyronn Lue was soon fired, J.R. Smith sat out and was waived, and thus the rebuild commenced. In that 2018 NBA draft, they drafted Collin Sexton, and his start to his career was very shaky. A lot of the veterans on the team did not like him. They said that he did not know how to play basketball, and he came off the bench to start his NBA career. But things would quickly turn, and he would embody what it is to be a Cleveland Cavalier. Collin Sexton is a tenacious scorer and gives his all 100% of the time. And as you can expect, the season ended poorly for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But with Collin Sexton, Cavs fans had something to look forward to. He had a great rookie season and looked to be a founding piece for the future of this Cleveland Cavaliers team. With having this poor season, they were given the 5th overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft. And there are a couple different directions that they could have went. A lot of talk for the Cleveland Cavaliers surrounded Cam Reddish's and Jarrett Culver's name. Having a small guard in Collin Sexton, it was no way that they would draft yet another 6'1" guard. But that's exactly what they did. Rather than go for fit early on, they looked to accumulate as much talent as they could. There were some early question marks surrounding the Darius Garland and Collin Sexton duo, but those were quickly shut down. That following season was once again a bad one for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Darius Garland was awful, Collin Sexton did step up, but it wasn't enough to win games, and it was a weird mixture of veteran players and young talent. There was a lot of conflict between head coaches and players, and ultimately, once again, the Cleveland Cavaliers sucked. But it wasn't all bad for that Cleveland Cavaliers team. They were able to enter themselves in a James Harden sweepstakes, and in this landed Jarrett Allen. They gave up very little for him, and on the Cavaliers, Jarrett Allen has blossomed into an all-star. And going into that 2021 offseason, it would be the one that would change this franchise forever. They lucked out into the 3rd overall pick for the 2021 NBA draft, and with this pick, they selected Evan Mobley. In that same offseason, they were able to trade for Lauri Markkanen, creating this 3-big lineup that terrorized the league. Darius Garland took a jump, Jarrett Allen took a jump, Evan Mobley was fantastic in his rookie season. They made it to the play-in tournament, and though they fell short, the future was very, very, very bright for this team. And then, in this past NBA offseason, they did something monumental. The Cleveland Cavaliers made a blockbuster trade, trading for Donovan Mitchell, giving up Lauri Markkanen, Collin Sexton, Ochai Agbaji, and future picks. Adding an efficient 27-point-per-game scorer is something that every team can dream of doing, and the Cavaliers were able to do it, keeping the young core of Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, and Evan Mobley intact. This trade established the core 4 that we see today. Going into the season, the expectations were high, and so far, they've lived up to them. So yeah, it's fair to say that the Cleveland Cavaliers are a dynasty in the making. What is going on, everybody? So, backing up with another video, and we gotta talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Recently, the Cleveland Cavaliers clinched their first playoff berth without LeBron James since the late 90s. I was not born yet. Darius Garland was not born yet. Evan Mobley was not born. And yet here they are, on their way to 50 wins in the season and locked into that 4th seed in that Eastern Conference. This season has been a very fun one for the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's been filled with a lot of highlights, crazy plays, crazy finishes. I mean, it's been storybook. And today I want to talk about their core 4. I want to talk about what each player brings to this team. Talking about the core 4, we have to start with the best player in it, and that's Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell made his way to Cleveland from Utah in a trade that a lot of people can say is a win-win. He was a 20-point-per-game scorer as soon as he stepped foot in the NBA. As he got better and better, his scoring elevated and elevated. It's no surprise to me that Donovan Mitchell is having his most efficient season to date. On the year, he's averaging 27.6 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game. He's shooting 47.6% from the field, 38% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. The history that Donovan Mitchell has made on this Cleveland Cavaliers team so far this season is crazy. And this is just his first season as a Cavalier. Just talking about some of the records, he's tied for second most 40-point games by a Cleveland Cavalier in a season. He shattered the record for the most points in a single game by Cleveland Cavaliers. He's broken the record for most three-pointers made in a single season by a Cleveland Cavalier. And the man is only 26 years old, so he has another jump that he can make. What makes this trade even better for the Cleveland Cavaliers is that Donovan Mitchell is a playoff riser. He has one of the highest scoring averages when it comes to the playoffs, and I expect that trend to continue for the Cavaliers postseason run. And when we talk about yin, we got to talk about yang. His duo in that backcourt is Darius Garland. I talked briefly about Darius Garland earlier, but the strides he's made as a player have been magnificent. Like I said, during his rookie year, it was horrible. He was bad on defense. He looked scared on offense. For me, I backed off on the criticism because Darius Garland was coming off a meniscus injury. But once he was fully healthy, we saw the player that we see now. Darius Garland was an all-star last season. And if it wasn't for some crazy play in the Eastern Conference this year, he would have been one again. Darius Garland is having what I believe to be his best season in his NBA career. On the year, he's averaging 21.7 points per game. He's dishing out 7.8 assists, and he's shooting 46% from the field, 41% from three, and 86% from the free throw line. Comparing this season from last year, the scoring is the same, but you also have to keep in mind that he added a near 30-point per game scorer in Donovan Mitchell. His field goal percentage is up, his three-point percentage is up, his free throw rate is up. Darius Garland is the perfect point guard for this Cavaliers team, and he's only 23 years old. There's so much room for growth for Darius Garland. He can become better as a scorer, as a playmaker, as a shot creator. He's super efficient, he's effective, he can play both on and off the ball. I mean, he's your prototypical point guard, and I'm so glad that he's a Cleveland Cavalier. Now we have to talk about the bigs. Jared Allen is sort of like a silent assassin. His stats don't really pop out to you when you just read them off, but his impact is definitely felt. Since being traded to Cleveland, his presence has been felt night in and night out. He's the backline defense for this Cleveland Cavaliers team, and one of the main reasons as to why they have the best defense in the league. He's a great rebounder, an awesome lob threat, and an even better teammate. And last but certainly not least, we have to talk about the future franchise player of this team in Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley type players only come once every so often, and the Cleveland Cavaliers were lucky enough to land him. He had a fantastic rookie season, in a year that I believe should have ended with him having the Rookie of the Year award, but he's made an insane leap this season. It started a little slow for him, but he was able to pick it up, and we see the impact that he has on the court. On the year, Evan Mobley is averaging 16.4 points, he's grabbing 9 rebounds, and he's blocking 1.5 shots per game. His field goal percentage has increased, he's getting to the foul line more. As it stands right now, Evan Mobley is third in Defensive Player of the Year voting. I personally believe it should be higher. He's drawn so many comparisons to guys like Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett and Anthony Davis. Even Giannis Antetokounmpo's name has come up. Whichever path he takes in his NBA career, it's going to be great for this Cleveland Cavaliers team. And I believe for them to make that next jump into legit title contention, he's going to have to make a leap in his game. And I'm very confident that he can do so. And right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the core four for your Cleveland Cavaliers team. You look at the ages of each of these players and you see why I say that they are a future dynasty. While teams like the Bucks and Celtics will always be a problem, the Cleveland Cavaliers are right there with them. And their roster construction is not all the way there. They still have a ton of question marks when it comes to their bench. They still have a ton of question marks when it comes to their wing position, but these are things that they can easily fix this offseason and beyond. Kobe Altman has done an amazing job at rebuilding this Cleveland Cavaliers team, and I cannot wait to see what they do in the coming years.